can't believe I'm looking at the next Tony Robbins.
When you mention his name, people smile.
James Burke.
One of the
James
best
Burke.
public speakers on the planet.
I could speak about James for a long, long time. A great speaker. He's a fantastic business coach and also life coach. If anyone could have a relationship like James and I have, you know, you'd realise how blessed you are. I could never say enough good words about James.
I'm going to show you the 6 keys to a blissful, passionate relationship that feels like it did at the start.
So James, for me, is able to see my personal life and business from a different perspective, get me to reflect in ways that I probably wouldn't reflect in myself.
My partner, who he coaches, the change in him, for him to be more disciplined and more focused on what he wants to do.
He has invested in himself, like he's reading, he's studying, going, seeing all these different people across the world. It hasn't just happened overnight. As he was rising the ranks in his estate agent's job, as to now, where he started Action Court, took that huge risk, started his own business, that's where the rewards have really started coming in for James.
But this isn't a fairy tale. There was no silver spoon, no lucky break. The man you see today, he was forged in fires that most people wouldn't survive. 16-year-old homeless, out of his family home, forced to sleep on the streets, night after night, where the cold wasn't just physical, it seeped into his soul. Loneliness whispered doubts in the dark, the kind of loneliness that can break a person. But James, he didn't break. Boxing was his escape, his purpose, his lifeline. Day in, day out, he trained with a fire that no one could put out. Twice, sometimes 3 times a day. While others slept, James ran. While others rested, James fought against fear of being nothing. His dream? To become world champion at Manchester Arena, the same place where he watched Ricky Hatton fight with stars in his eyes.
Ricky!
Then came the break, the Frank Warren show, Sky Sports, prime time. James felt like he'd made it. Round 1, James did what he did best. Round 2, a brutal dogfight and a devastating jaw injury. Round 3, it was already too late. It was after the fight had ended, the real knockout blow came. It's osteoporosis. The words hit harder than any punch that he'd ever taken. Well over a decade of sacrifice, gone in an instant.
He had to obviously give up boxing, but he continued with the discipline in a different area. But then he got the personal tragedies around him that could make him give up.
When you've hit rock bottom once, you think you know what it feels like. But life has a way of showing you there's always another level. The death of his oldest friend, Matthew. Then another friend by suicide. Then a coaching client, someone that James had poured his heart into. But just as he thought that he could breathe again, life delivered the hardest hits yet. Within 12 months, James lost not 1, but 2 sisters to suicide.
James's sister, my mum, and James's sister, my auntie, obviously both lost their lives to suicide, which was pretty awful.
To lose 1 sister, never mind 2, it's heartbreaking to think. He was so close to that, and it must have, really torn him up inside.
I remember he spoke at my mum's funeral, and he told some really nice stories. Actually, it upset James to a massive extent.
Most would let the weight of grief pull them under. But James, he found something different. Personal development.
James, with his mindset of how he is and his studying of mindset, it must have helped him deal with it in such a better way.
Room and know what you want. What do you want in your marriage? What do you want with your son and your daughter?
Think about your own life.
Your health?
I know there have been areas in your life where some point in time you just shifted and you raised the standard and your life changed. Because
it wasn't just a hobby. It was the lifeline that saved him. The real fight wasn't in the boxing ring. It was inside his own mind. This was the turning point, the shift, the moment everything changed. Personal development didn't just heal James. It became the foundation that helped him rise from the ashes.
How else would you get through the things that he's gone through? The pain and the suffering that we get exposed to, because they make us grow. That makes us grow. That pain and suffering makes us grow. I think if James hadn't been as disciplined, he would be in a very different place.
James Burke isn't defined by the fights he lost. He's defined by the fact he never stayed down. He rose, he built businesses, became a best-selling author, and stood on stages with icons like Sir Ranulph Fiennes, Paul Smith, and Ella Henderson, speaking to thousands at Master Your Life events across the country.
To be able to see James now on stage in front of like all these people, doing really well for himself.
Master Your Life is still in its absolute bare bones, you know, and I'm blessed that I've been a part of this since it started. And I'm blessed to have seen the journey that he's took it on already. Even though we're years in, this is infancy stuff to what Master Your Life is going to be.
But here's the thing, it was never about the stage. It was all about the people.
There's literally gems, loads of gems.
The lives changed, the souls ignited.
He can take on the world. He's just got that confidence, that focus, that drive. It will get you to follow your dreams.
That's his mission now, and the world's a better place for it. And with that, James is both inspiration and proof that no matter how hard life hits, you can come back stronger. You don't need a silver spoon, a perfect childhood, or a big break. That's what James Burke's story teaches us.
Thing for damn sure. I will not let you
Because
leave
if
here
there's
average.
one thing his story proves, it's this. You don't have to be born a winner. You just have to refuse to lose.